Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my rest day in London, which I also explored Trafalgar Square and checked out a Waterstones for the first time to compare it to Barnes & Noble, as well as just taking some sights and some reading and some rest before I traveled to Paris from London on the Eurostar the next day. This vlog is going to cover my rest day as well as my trip to Paris, where I get emotional. Sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a great drink, and let's get started. At this point in my trip, I felt pretty comfortable taking the city bus to Trafalgar Square and walking around. I enjoyed just people watching and reading my book out in the sunshine. It was another gorgeous day. Loved the atmosphere, checked out the Waterstones, and also had a fabulous lunch at this what would look like a 1920s kind of cafe where I had oatmeal and an iced coffee. It was just a lovely day to rest and relax. By this point, my feet were absolutely exhausted and ready for a break after several days of walking that is not normal for me. And so we really enjoyed the day at this point, as well as did some reading in the cafe and just checking out all of what Waterstones has to offer. From this point on, I went back to the hotel and just relaxed. Of course, and going on to the fifth day of my trip, I wake up and have a fabulous coffee a la cordon bleu and a croissant. Can't go wrong with croissants that are from a pastry shop from France. And school, it was so much fun. I really absorbed this day in taking in the bookstore that was in the same shopping area. Looked around, didn't really get any books, but just enjoyed the atmosphere and the great people in the local bookstore. And at that point, it was time to pack up all of my luggage that I acquired from my souvenirs and just getting ready to head to Paris. So from here, I got to the train station, the international train station. I did take a taxi to the train station, and from there, I boarded the train. So went through security and customs, took my bag right onto the train, the Eurostar tunnel. It was so great. I had a chair with a table. I can talk. Had a great conversation with a bunch of people. Everything went really smoothly. I didn't even know that we had gone through the tunnel underwater until we were over an hour into the trip. I didn't realize that we had already gone through it until we actually, on my return trip, realized that the tunnel was closer to London than it was to Paris. And it went dark for about 15 minutes. You don't really notice it. I was watching a TV show on my phone that I had downloaded. That is one great tip, is to have TV shows, books, anything downloaded that you want to watch. Because as a person with a US phone, I did not have data or real good service on the train. So having things downloaded ahead of time is a must. And hopefully you have some good noise canceling headphones to just sit back, relax for the 2 hours of the train ride. It did cost me about $200, and I was able to pay for the train ticket both ways for $200. And it was a great experience. Loved it. I much preferred that. It was so much faster and easier than flying. And it was actually cheaper when I price checked going through a flight to the train. I much prefer train travel to airplanes, which is very cool to see. I thought it looked very similar to like a subway or just a traditional above ground train service, or like mass transit service, excuse me. And so hopefully that was a great experience. Got into the London train station, got into the Paris train station. And when I got my first passport stamp, I was so excited. That was so amazing to see. They did not stamp my passport when I got into London on my flight. So they just had picture scanners, so you didn't have anybody physically there to stamp anything. Versus on the train, I got my stamp to Paris, and then I also got a stamp when I got back into London from the train as well. So now I have two famous stamps and a passport. So exciting. Love seeing those. It was a great time. Really enjoyed my trip. I decided to take a taxi to my hotel to check in since it was early afternoon. My hotel room should be ready. And so from there, I waited in a really long taxi line, but it did move really fast. They were very efficient. They had people there directing traffic and loading up taxis, depending on if you had large groups or small people. small groups of people. And so I actually just waited and I got really emotional. I started crying. I'm just so excited that I'm finally in Paris. It had been a really lifelong dream to be to Paris since I was very little. I wanted to go to Paris and just experience what all it has to offer, and it did not disappoint. So let's go ahead and check out the hotel and everything it had to offer in my Paris room. This was the lobby as you walked in, and I always say bonjour when I walk in, and everybody is very nice and friendly. Off to the left in that bar was seating for breakfast if you choose to do that, as well as some lounge seating. This was a gorgeous hotel room that I stayed in. It was a lot bigger than my one in London, which was very nice, as well as a vanity space and a fridge down in the lower cabinet as well, where they had cold water waiting, as well as a gorgeous bathroom with rainfall shower head, as well as heated towel racks, which was very luxurious. All right, after enjoying a quick relaxation in the hotel room, I went out to dinner to an Italian place down the street from the hotel. The hotel was greatly centrally located, which was a great perk. Loved the hotel, loved the staff. They were very attentive and very nice, and enjoyed also the restaurant. I had a pizza in Paris, which I can't believe I did that, but it's just still so amazing. Loved my time there, came back to the hotel and just chilled for the evening. Stick around for our next vlog that's going to cover the full 2 days that I'm in Paris. I'm so excited to share with the Eiffel Tower with you, as well as the Notre Dame, and some other key highlights from my 2 days that were full of all kinds of adventures in Paris. Stick around for the next vlog coming out next week.